All right, and that brings us to our main event of Fight Island 8. We have a couple of nice dudes looking to climb up into the top contendership in that welterweight division here. So first up, we got Michael Chiesa taking on Neil Magny here. So, these two are some underrated beasts. After diving a little bit more into them, man, so Chiesa comes in, 16-4 record. He's been in the UFC since 2012 after winning the Ultimate Fighter 15. He's won 3 in a row, man. And look at those names that he's beat. We got Carlos Condit. We got our boy Diego Sanchez. And most recently, we got Dos Anjos back in January of 2020, who headlined one of the main cards in 2020 as well. So, these are no jokes here. On the flip side, Neil Magny, man, a beast in his own right as well. He has an illustrious UFC career dating back to 2013. Big wins under his belt. Also beat Carlos Condit. Jin Yang Lee, who we're seeing, this Saturday. Robbie Lawler back in August of 2020. This is such an underrated main event for a Wednesday night here.
Yeah, so the first thing I want, like Michael Chiesa is definitely looking pretty good since his losses. And I want to talk about, I love my boy Pies. He's doing so well with all these names and with learning all these random fighters and getting so good with prelims. But he loves his names. And the way he introduced that Carlos Condit and Diego Sanchez win is beautiful for the couch. But I gotta say, maybe that's more of a hardcore notion. I love the guys, but that was a little bit later in the career. But I will say, I think that finally gave him the confidence to really kind of start stringing those wins together and working more and more on his game. Because the win against Rafael Dos Anjos, we saw a lot of good things from him, right? The work against the fence, the clinch work, the ability to stick to him and really tire him out. We started seeing, that Chiesa gas thing really play into his favor because I think sometimes we saw him, give up bad positions or maybe make the wrong mistake. Or it was a lot of, since that Kevin Lee fight, I just felt like, Anthony Pettis got away with a good win there too. Not got away, but he came away with a win there. But, that Kevin Lee fight kind of had him stumble a little bit. After that Pettis fight, we really saw Michael Chiesa come back to being, that big, not prospect and now contender, looking at, a guy like Neil Magny across from him. Because let's talk about Magny. We're going to watch two guys go at it for a long time. I'd be shocked if punches can land real early. Kudos to either or, man, if that's something that happens, because I think Magny's got, one of the best gas tanks you'll see at that weight class. And he's shown it many times. And we talk about guys making comebacks. The loss of Santiago Ponzinibbio, he's come back really strong. No one's really talking about his 2020, but that 3-0 that he put together in 2020 is one of the best we've seen, right? And looking back at some of his only losses via submission, elite fighters, Damian Maia, Sergio Moraes, when, Sergio Moraes was more on the come up and Magny was still getting his feet wet. Dos Anjos, these are big submission type fighters. And I think Magny's really, really proven that, he deserves to dance with the Sharks. And I think Michael Chiesa's earned that shot too with that win over, Dos Anjos. He's put a bit of time into his commentary, deals and stuff like that. So I think it's time that, we see what he can do. And that time off, I think, for almost a year now is really going to help him.
Yeah, this is going to be a real tough one to call, man. I see this going back and forth throughout the fight, especially for a 5-round fight. I think it can go either way. Who do you see as the favorite here?
And it's funny, right? I kind of touch a little bit more on the Magny 3-0 record. You touched on the Chiesa record, right? And you'd have to give Magny a bit more of credit, right? Because the Jingling Liang, the Anthony Rocco Martin, and the Robbie Lawler wins are kind of more credible because Jingling Liang is an up-and-coming UFC prospect who, if he beat Magny, was on the verge of probably big things. And the same can be said for Anthony Rocco Martin. That was a guy who was winning the fights he was supposed to win. And so Robbie Lawler, previous title challenger, kind of falls into a much better caliber of some of the, UFC legends we're talking about. So, it's tough to go against Neil Magny right now. And I think a lot of the hype is around him too, despite Chiesa getting some of that as well. I think you got to give some of the hype to Magny as well. I don't think it's going to be anything like a minus 300 line. I think that's borderline impossible. I do think that you're going to see Magny come in at, if I want to play it smart, I know he's the favorite. Do I think he can be minus 250? I do, but I don't think it can be that bad. So I'm going to go with minus 175 Neil Magny.
Oh, what a way to finish, man. 3 for 3 on the belt. I'll give you a round of applause for that one for sure.
Close my eyes.
He's actually He's actually a minus 138 favorite. So falls right in the realm of what you were thinking. Mm-hmm. And, it's going to be a tough one to call. This is a very, very close fight.
All about game plan, man. I think Magny can be the better striker. I think that we'll see gas tank for 5 rounds, but I think Magny should have the edge. I can't write out Chiesa by any means, but I think Magny should have the edge for sure. And that's where, like, if it goes to the ground, I mean, I think Magny's really good at getting himself back up. He himself is really good from the top position, but, Chiesa is a great ground fighter. He prides himself on his sickjitsu, right? So, like, let's see what he can do. He's going to get opportunities if he can cling to him the way he did at Dos Anjos. That's where you're going to kind of see that dog come out of it. But again, I think it's going to be a bit of a different beast trying to cling to Neil Magny without getting him peppered a bit more, without seeing him get as tired as I think Dos Anjos did, especially from those body shots. I think Magny's going to be able to put together a bit more of a game plan when it comes to defending that.
Yeah, and decent value on Magny as well. You know me, right? Anything less than minus 150 is a pick 'em. So, if I'm getting that value on a dude who does have the edge, I like it. So kind of stay tuned for that one. That wraps up UFC Fight Island 8. Make sure you hit that subscribe, hit that bell button. All our information's below. Instagram, Twitter. Give us a follow, like, subscribe, shoot us comments, whatever you need. Anything else you want to plug here, Suraj?
I mean, plenty of dogs on this card, so it might not be as exciting as some of the picks that we released for the upcoming card on Saturday, but keep an eye out. This card is a lot of fun fights. Forget the gambling stuff. This is a very fun card to watch. You got 2 contenders, headlining, and like Pi said, follow. We got plenty of MMA stuff coming out, and as always, man, it's always a pleasure, man. Love doing this shit with you. Can't wait to keep going.
Likewise, brother. And yeah, like you said, man, we get this on a Wednesday. It's a real treat. We're going to have to sacrifice watching the challenge that night. But, we get a nice UFC treat on a Wednesday. So enjoy it. And yeah, always a pleasure, brother.
My man, take it easy. Peace.
Later.